Welcome back guys. In this video I'll show you how to use FSR 4.1.1 in data upscaler in conjunction with XeSS frame generation in Last of Us Part 1 running on Rog Ally that comes with Windows 11 Radeon 780M GPU based on RDNA 3 architecture. I'll achieve this using Optiscaler Mod version 0.10 nightly build. We'll be using OptiFG Upscaler as the frame generation source for XeFG. Hotfix does not work properly in this game. Good thing is XeSS frame gen version 3 barely produces any flickering or ghosting around the UI elements even without hotfix. This is not true for FSR 3.1 frame gen. Even DLSS frame gen does not need hotfix. In some games, XeFG without hotfix produces some ghosting around the crosshair, but that does not happen in Last of Us Part 1. Even if some ghosting is produced, very difficult to observe it with the naked eye on Ally's small display that extends 7 inches diagonally. This game officially supports FSR 3.1 frame generation and it can be used to enable Optiscaler XeFG, but it is a bit problematic. For example, with XeFG enable when you restart the game can detect the entire display as UI, thereby disabling XeFG smoothing effect. You need to disable the in-game FSR frame gen and then enable it again to fix the issue. This can sometimes cause the game to crash. Using a weapon scope disables frame generation. It also gets disabled for a second when an NPC grabs us. These issues are not present when using OptiFG Upscaler as the frame generation source for XeFG. Using the same frame generation source, you can even enable DLSS enabler FSR 3.1 multi-frame gen, but without hotfix, UI elements will exhibit flickering. You can try using DLSS enabler's HUD interpolation feature, but it won't be able to completely eliminate UI flickering. The thing is, FSR 3.1 frame generation produces noticeable graphical artifacts in this game compared to XeFG, like ghosting around Joel's weapons, edge ghosting, and some ghosting around the character model. So I would not recommend using FSR 3.1 frame gen unless the base FPS is on the higher side, minimum of 60. Even with 60 as the base FPS, there will be some artifacts. You can download the latest nightly build of Optiscaler Mod version 0.10 from their GitHub page. This is the build that I'll be using. We'll give the link in the description. Scroll down until you find asset section expanded, click on a .7z link, download will start. Now I'll install Optiscaler. Just open its archive file. Select the highlighted files and folder, optiscaler.ini, optiscaler.dll, mods config and loader files, Optiscaler folder, right click copy. Inside Optiscaler folder we have the DLL files corresponding to XeSS and FSR, both upscaling and frame gen. Select the game in your Steam library, right click, manage, click on browse local files. Yeah, there's the game's main exe file, so paste everything here. I'll use the file name dxgi for Optiscaler loader file. Select optiscaler.dll file, right click, rename, type dxgi. RTS GPU users need to change the name of sl.common.dll file to sl.common.dll.bak, not required for AMD GPU users. Just open optiscaler.ini file, scroll down until you find FSR section. Under this section, look for a line name FSR 4 force model and just set it to 2. Value 2 corresponds to the indate model of FSR 4, which is compatible with Ally's GPU. I'll also enable FSR 4 enable watermark setting to verify that the upscaler is indeed working on Ally. FSR 4 watermark will pop up at the top of the display. Click on File, Save, Close. My Ally is running on its latest official GPU driver, Adrenaline version 26.10.07.06. Adrenaline settings for the game. I have enabled FreeSync and VSync. I have set the UMA buffer size to 6 GB. My Ally is running on BIOS version 3.4.2. Using a 24 watts manual profile, all 3 power values set at 24 watts, 720p resolution, CPU boost disabled. Connected my Flydigi Vader 4 Pro controller to Ally via Bluetooth mode, X input controller. We'll use Adrenaline's performance overlay to show you the stats. Avoid using Afterburner and RTSS can cause the game to crash. Launch the game. First time launch can cause the game to crash. If that happens, just restart the game. We are in game settings display. Yeah, the game reports incorrect value for the available VRAM. I have set the UMA buffer size to 6 GB, but look at the available VRAM here. around 2.5 GB, ignore it. Due to this reason, we cannot tweak the texture setting on Ally. Display mode borderless window required for using XeFG 720p resolution. VSync off. No FPS cap applied. Frame generation disabled. Upscaler should be set to FSR 3.1. Using the Upscaler's quality mode, sharpening level set to nil. We'll be using Optiscaler Mod to adjust the image sharpness. Camera shake, motion blur, chromatic aberration intensity, film grain intensity, lens dot intensity set to nil. I'm using the low graphics preset. Even with low graphics preset, VRAM usage will be within a range of 5.5 to 6 GB on Ally. Lens flare off. I'm just making sure that all of the post-processing effects are disabled. Depth of field, motion blur. Now just go to accessibility section, motion sickness, and make sure full screen effect setting is disabled. Applies a midnight like effect around the edges of the display when an enemy attacks us, grabs us. Just press the insert keyboard key to open Optiscaler menu. There it is. I'll just increase its size. Click on the drop down bar next to menu scale. Set the value to 1. Upscaler use FSR 4.1.1. By default, input in-game FSR Upscaler. TXT spoofing off. You can already see the watermark at the top. It is indeed the in-date model of FSR 4.1.1. FSR 4 preset default automatically selected. Model 1 of FSR 4 for us. Correct model is being used. Corresponds to the Upscaler's quality or ultra quality preset. Uncheck watermark setting, not required now. Frame gen disable for the time being. I'll use Optiscaler to adjust the image sharpness. So just enable override and enable RCAS settings under sharpness section, level 0.400 up to you. Auto exposure setting on. I'll enable Optiscaler's performance overlay. Position top left, full plus graph, scale 1.3. Base resolution 8.4. It's 848 by 480 pixels, upscale to 720p. Text is so small. Save settings, close, restart the game. Watermark will be gone. Play. Sometimes the game will crash at startup. If that happens, just restart it. Here we are in this jewel. Current location, underground tunnel. Alley. Lot of monsters here, need to be careful. FPS, it's around 45 to 50, not bad. RAM usage around 5.3 GB, hitting the GPU bottleneck as expected. Yeah, UI elements. Upscaling cost 3.6 milliseconds. Okay, I'll just equip my rifle, use it in scope mode. Yeah, XeFG will produce some ghosting around the crosshair. Okay, I'll engage in combat. Headshot. Molotov cocktail. Eat this. Oh my god. Oh, it's coming after me. Burn them down. 45 to 50 FPS. Another one. Standing right behind me. Oh my god, look at the size of that thing. Flamethrower equipped. Decent experience on Rog Ally. Get off me, you creep. Oh my god. This thing pushed me down. Oh, it's still moving. Finally it's down. Now I'll, oh my god. Now I'll enable XeFG. Here's open Optiscaler menu, FG input set to OptiFG upscaler, FG output set to XeFG. Click on save settings, close, restart the game. Play. Game may crash at startup. Yeah, it crashed. Click on play again. Should work now. There you go. Once the game loads up, open Optiscaler menu. Check the setting active under XeFG section. Hotfix. Okay, hotfix settings are not even showing up. expand active work section. See, disabling hotfix due to known issues. TXT spoofing disabled by default. Allowed frame ahead to debug view enabled. Yeah, XeFG is working. Here it is mentioned restart the game to apply correct XeFG settings. Okay, I'll do it. Uncheck debug view, save settings, close, restart the game. Yeah, now check out the animation quality. Much smoother than before when we had the game running without frame gen. 80 FPS with XeFG, actual FPS value 40. This is the real world input delay. It's manageable playing the game using a gamepad. And check out the crosshair. Spinning the camera, still not observing any ghosting around it. This is amazing. XeFG version 3 running without hotfix. Solid UI elements, semi-transparent. They are not exhibiting any noticeable flickering. Very faint flickering is produced around a health bar, whatever this is. Ammo count. Need to do some pixel peeping to observe this flickering effect. There it is. And XeFG does not produce any edge ghosting. No ghosting produced around Joel's head when it's close to the left edge of the display. No ghosting produced around our weapons as well. This curved white line is also not exhibiting any ghosting. Forgot to show you the scope's crosshair. Yeah, noticeable ghosting is produced around it when I move the camera. But the good thing is smoothing effect of XeFG works even when we use a weapon scope. Smoothing effect works even when an enemy grabs us like this. These issues are present when you enable XeFG using the in-game FSR 3.1 frame gen. Oh no, need to keep some distance. This thing, it's after me. Molotov cocktail. These creatures can grab us, which can lead to an instant death. Not observing any frame pacing issue. XeFG smoothing effect is very stable. Just like that I died.